Hello folks, we're back again. Sorry for the delay in part two of the update. I've just been busy with stuff, so I must get on and do this part two. Basically I'm going to go through everyone's questions they had on my last video. There's a couple of things I need to cover actually through watching other people's channels and stuff. There's a guy, Steve Dyers from the States, just posted a video regarding his water chemistry and readings and stuff, so I'm going to reply to he's asking for help basically. I'm going to reply to his requests on what is going on with his water chemistry. I'll do that in a sec, and yeah, so I get on with it. So the lights are down low at the moment on the reefer. They come, it's 12:15, so they come on at 12 on their lowest setting, on the moonlight setting, and then slowly ramp up. So we've got what, 19% colour, 25% intensity, so it's real low in there. So if you're wondering why it's like that. Right, so first things first, Steve Dyers, hopefully I pronounced your surname right. Just let's have a look at your readings. So looking on this little reading table you've got, I'll try and help you out as best I can with this. Now, and I see that from your video that you're going to sort of delve into start dosing alkalinity, calcium and magnesium, and thinking about getting a doser and whatnot. Right, there's a few issues with your water chemistry here, without a doubt. Your tank, by the way, looks really good. I love the way you've got everything set up, the lighting, the rock work. It's only a smallish tank, but it looks great. It really does look good. I'm just hopefully it doesn't do a dip like mine recently has, start going a bit wayward, should we say. And it will do, I think, with these readings you're getting. So where do I start? So I start from this side. Your water changes, it looks like you're doing sort of 10%, that's fine. Temperature's fine. Salinity, 1.026. Careful there, let's say 1.28. You don't want that fluctuating too much. Try and keep that as stable as possible. Pick a salinity like 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, and just keep it there as stable as you can, because fluctuations with salinity, corals, and well, mainly corals won't like that, and all the fish really. pH looks okay. Don't let it go down below 8. That's for any length of period of time. Now with pH, towards the end of the day when the lights have been on all day, your pH, you'll find when you test, your pH will be slightly higher, and obviously through the night it starts dropping down. So first, if you do a test in the morning, first thing, it'll always be sort of lowish. So that's when I test first thing in the morning when the lights are off, and I know that's going to be the lowest reading on the system for a 24-hour period. And I test at 8.1, and it just creeps about 8.2 towards the end of the day. Yeah, and the range for that between 8 and 8.4. You don't want it dropping down into the 7s really, so that's not great, but that will sort of should self-correct itself when I start going through the other parameters. What else we got here? Yeah, they're all fine. Okay, so phosphate, just be a little bit careful with your phosphate. 0.04, really 0.03 max. So from 0 to 0.03, yeah. So the only way to correct that is just obviously add a little bit more phosphate media, change it out a little bit more often or whatever, just to bring them down a little bit. Now these are the three major elements: alkalinity, calcium and magnesium. Right, I've noticed with your tank you've obviously got a lot of small frags of corals and stuff, so really you want to set the water chemistry to get growth. The alkalinity is definitely too low in my opinion. Let me just get the computer back on, it's just gone off. Especially with a new system with small coral frags, you want it to get growth. With such low reading of alkalinity, you get a reduced amount of growth. And I can see with your calcium as well is very low. So alkalinity is definitely too low. You need that minimum sort of 8 to 12 DKH. and obviously for growth you need it up sort of 11 or 12 really. I'm running mine at 12.6. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm using Red Sea's Coral Pro Salt, which just has elevated levels of all of these elements set for obviously coral growth. So that's that reading you've just done. The last reading was it yesterday of alkalinity 7.3. That's too low. You need to get that up. Moving on to the calcium, the them levels are far too low indeed. You need to get them a minimum of 400, but closer to 500. I'm running mine at 450, 460 at the moment, and really want to sort of 470, so sort of just up my dosage with that a little bit. So yeah, they're too low. Them readings on calcium, 340 was your last reading. I mean, they're not severe, but you definitely need to address them. Magnesium, that's a problem as well. That's dropping down too low, 1060. I'd be concerned if my system was below 1200, 1250, because I mean, all these three elements have an effect on each other, and it is quite confusing to work out. Obviously, one affects the other. But magnesium, one of magnesium's main thing is that if the level's too low, alkalinity and calcium can't stay in solution. So that might be a reason why your other two rings are a little bit too low. Maybe not because your corals are using it down, maybe because your magnesium's so low that they can't stay in solution. You need to get that up. I would recommend 1350, 1400, and you can go up to sort of 1500. Mine's set for, my last test was 1350 a couple of days ago. I want to try and keep it there between 1350 and 1400. So that keeps my alkalinity and my calcium, which I'm running high, keeps them figures nice and stable. Right, so I'll move on to dosing. And the way I'm doing this system, I've got to be quite quick with time because I only get half hour on these videos. I might have to end up doing a part 3. Basically, someone has just mentioned in reply to my part 1 of this update. Peter Derrick put a really good comment actually, some good thoughts there about using the Red Sea trace elements, the coral colours and the Red Sea nutrition, which I'll go into in a minute. So Steve, basically on my system, what I'm running is I'm using Red Sea's Coral Pro Salt, which has elevated elements of calcium, magnesium and alkalinity. Anyway, so out of the box the salt mix is up at I mix it at 35 parts per thousand salinity, and it reads at like 12.5 alkalinity, calcium about 450, magnesium I think is about 1360, maybe 1400. I can't remember now, but obviously they're high already, and I'm doing 10% water change every single week. That, without dosing, won't be enough to keep the levels up, because the system with the corals that are in here, there's not much in here. They're all coral frags. There's a lot of coralline algae in here, quite a few snails and stuff that use calcium and stuff. Yeah, and this SPS corals are definitely pulling down the levels. So what I've got is a doser, which is what you're looking into now. It all seems a complicated thing, but it really isn't. It's basically in this one, magnesium, alkalinity, calcium into a doser. The dosers can can seem very confusing as well, but and I was a bit daunted. It was a daunting thought, obviously, getting mine up and running, but once you get it up and running, it's fine. Basically, it's a means of just testing, starting to dose, and keep testing and seeing what the system's using down. You'll get to a happy medium after a while. So I start with the first one on this dose. This is a TMC easy dose. I'm not sure in the States whether you get you probably, I think you're looking at the Bubble Magnus one. but I'm sure you could get a hold of this this TMC equipment as well. There's a few different ones on the market. This one's I can't remember how much they are, a couple of £100. Not that expensive, you can spend more. But this, it's been running 6 months, man, been really reliable. It's so easy to program as well. So basically on the screen, if I get it up, camera focus okay. You've got, so it says pump number 1, that's my magnesium pump. It's delivering 7 mil per day. And if you look at the times underneath, the number at 9 o'clock in the morning is highlighted. So that means it will do 7 mil at 9 o'clock in the morning. Now moving on from that is pump number 2. That's my alkalinity. That doses 4 mil virtually every hour, or 20 hours of the day. So keep that nice and stable, because the system's using, well, every system will use down more alkalinity than they do magnesium and calcium. The next one, pump 3, 10 mil at 8 AM for calcium. You'll find that well, every system is different. Your tank will be different to mine, to what it uses down. But basically, my system uses down a lot of alkalinity. I'm dosing, yeah, it must be 80 mil a day of alkalinity and 10 mil calcium. It depends on what solutions you buy. If you buy Red Sea's products, it looks like you've got a few Red Sea products, from what I can see in your video, their products are really, really good. Not too expensive, but you get good value for your money with them, I think. I'm not sure how much your system will use down, but you can buy the dosing solutions in the bottle form, the back here, A, B and C, liquid form, sorry. And yeah, it might be enough for you, but I doubt it. It's a really expensive way of doing that, especially if you're using down a lot, like I am. So if you see at the back there, these big tubs, that's Red Sea Foundation B. That one, see, that's alkalinity. There's A and C. Then the bottom is, I think, it's magnesium. So yeah, they mix up loads. All you do is mix the powder up in RO solution, and then put it into your dosing containers. You know, it lasts so long. You mix up so many litres. I think the alkalinity, you can mix up 10 litres of alkalinity, 10 litres. That lasts ages. And I think the calcium you can mix up 1.8 litres, and the magnesium 1.7 litres, which coincides with how much you would use, actually, you know, really, because obviously I'm using down more alkalinity, so you know they formulated it so that, you know, you get a lot more of alkalinity than you do calcium, magnesium. But that's what I've done. Really simple to do, and yeah, magnesium won't disappear. It will drop down slowly. You know, some people just test for it sort of once every month. It drops that slow, and some people don't dose for it and their water changes is enough. Alkalinity will drop down real quick. That's the one that can drop. I mean, if I had this system drop to you know, at least 1 DKH a day, it can drop if I'm not dosing anything. And calcium, obviously that drops down a little bit slower, more in line with your magnesium, really. But yeah, that's what you need to do. You need to get dosing, Steve, with your system, and you need to get your levels up. Because I'd hate to see your nice tank suddenly do a dip and everything, you start losing stuff. I don't know which way you're going with the corals. I think it looks like you're going to go with a mixed reef with soft corals, LPSN, SPS. But certainly, if you're going to go, you know, start putting SPS corals in there, don't put any in there now, because your levels are all over the place, or very low. So you need to get those levels up into check before you start adding sensitive SPS corals. Yeah, so please, you know, in your next update, give us a mention, reply to what I've said. Any questions you've got, obviously ask, and I'll try my best to help you out. But that's the simplest way I can explain really the dosing. They're the 3 main elements you need to dose. calcium, magnesium and alkalinity. The rest of the elements you should get, or should get topped up with your salt. Every time you do a water change, 10% water change, it should boost those levels up as well. Which I'll move on to my tank. A guy, Peter Derrick, I think it is, yeah. Thanks for your comment. I really appreciate any input. I say none of us are experts. We're all still learning, and all our tanks are different. And it is just a trick trying to get everything in line and stable. So many things can affect our systems, whether it be lighting, flow, water chemistry, too much nutrients, too low nutrients, loads of stuff. And it's just basically trying to get a nice balanced system where everything thrives. So yeah, I done. You say you said that you think that my system might have picked up after doing my then 7 water changes, the 10% water changes, 70% water change. It raised trace elements. Everything picked up. I think that's a fair comment. It might be because of that. But it might also be because I've reduced the intensity of my lighting as well. I raised the lights up and reduced the intensity during the day. And now it's starting to feed a lot heavier as well. And I've turned these Deltec skimmers, by the way, if anyone's listening to it, you think about what skimmer to get. It's just so good. You've got so much controllability and it's so powerful. I've turned that down now, dropped it down a couple of notches. So yeah, I've set in the system so there's more nutrients kicking around for a while, and then obviously it gets stripped out. And everything's definitely coming back really nice. You can't really tell because the lighting at the moment is still in the sort of very blue range, but the Stylophora's getting its colour right back. All the colours look good. I think even my Hystrix, my pink Hystrix, is recovering. I did have high hopes of it coming back, and I think it is. Barley Slimer, everything's looking really good and starting to grow. This green Hystrix, it's got new fresh white tips now, and it didn't do for over a month. Slowed right down. It's definitely starting to regrow again. So I don't know whether it is because of the nutrients side of things, lighting side, I don't know. What I'm going to do now is just stick to my 10% water changes every week, and if it is the elements that you're saying, Peter, in the other elements we don't test for dropping off, then obviously in 2 or 3 months time I'm going to start seeing the same effects, in which case I'm going to start using Red Sea's Coral Care Program, the A, B, C and D coral colours, to see if that makes any difference. I'm not sure. And there's obviously the nutrition side, the A and B nutrition, Red Sea's nutrition, coral nutrition I think it's called, which has like amino acids and fatty acids and carbohydrates or whatever for corals, which is basically like a coral food, I presume. But we might give that a go as well at some point. So, what have we got? 12 minutes. Try and go through some of the questions on my last video quickly. Apologies, people, if I haven't replied to you at all. I'm getting, the channel's gone mad. It's got 1,100. I think it's just cracked 1,100 subscribers now, and I get questions constantly from people. So let's just check my last video. Yeah, apologies if one of your questions gets missed. And if you've got a question, please leave it in the very last video that I do on my channel. The very last video, put a question on there. If it's something quick, I'll try and reply to it quickly. But what I'm going to try and do is, in my updates, just try and reply to you each individually. It's getting a bit hard to do because so many people asking questions. So let's go to my last. No, that one. Where is it? This one. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to pause the video on each one and have a little read through and hopefully answer your questions. So just quickly running through Rory Melden. Sorry about my pronunciation, my reading's not great. Could you tell me how many litres of fresh water you need a week to top off? Basically, it's an 8 litre top off tank. every 4 days that goes through. So about 16 litres a week, mate. Next one, can you make a video on how to use MP10, REEFER, Vega, MP10? Yeah, just experiment with it, mate. To be honest, there's no rule of thumb of what you should use. Just experiment with the different wave motions, see what you like, and see what the coral is like, so they're not getting completely battered all the time. Just so the polyps are moving around nicely, chaotic flow. Just push pause. Okay, this is for DNS. We've got a REEFER 250. There's lots of people buying reefers, which is great. Everyone that's listening to this video and you've bought reefers and that, fantastic. It's great that you've gone down that route, same as me, and hopefully my videos are giving you a load of help. So yeah, DNS, questions you've got. Do you suffer with dripping noises from the filter socks? No, not really, to be honest. There's a few little drips you see there in the corner. You'll probably have the same. You know, it's inevitable. They're not watertight around the tray, so you can get a few drips, but no, you don't really get any noises, especially with anything else going on. Delta skim return pump, mate, can tell me the noise. Yeah, the noise of the tank, of my tanks, I don't think it's too bad. I mean, you do get used to noises, obviously. The running of the whole system you get used to. But no, it's fine. If you want quietness, you need to go the DC route. All your pumps to be DC. So this Deltec skimmer, it's a SC1351. Mentioned it loads of times. It's got a DC pump in it with a DC controller, as you can see there, and it's very quiet. All you can hear is the air being pulled in. You know, it probably sounds quite noisy in the video, but the camera's right up, the microphone's right up to where it is. But if you come away, these are the doors open. You know, it's not that loud at all. Same with the return pump. It's a Waveline DC 4000. Very, very quiet. Brilliant. So if you want quietness, go for DC pumps. At the moment, you've got an Eheim Compact 3000. It's noisy. Yeah, they are noisy. I've got a 1000 in my RO, or my salt mixing station. It is noisy. It's one of the quieter normal pumps, but you need to get a DC pump really if you want the quietness. There's nothing wrong with that Eheim. The 3000 is fine. It's just if you really particular about noise, then go DC route. But my skimmer's moment is actually silent. Okay. Right, just push pause for you need to read this. Okay, this name I can't pronounce. Abdurrahman, I don't know. And basically it's a question on my MP10s for the REEFER 250. Does it fall off? Because the max tank thickness for MP10 is 9.5 mil, but it's not. It's 9.8 actually, I think. And the REEFER is 12 mil. So quickly answer that. The tank glass, the front pane is 12 mil glass, and the side panes and the rear pane, I think the rear pane, yeah, the sides and the rear panes are 10 mil glass. So if you're thinking, oh, it's 12 mil glass, I can't put MP, rubbish. You can put them on. Look, there's one on here now. Yeah, the front pane of glass is 12 mil, the sides 10. And it's fine, absolutely fine. Stays on there. I did have a little bit of an issue with it initially when I first put it on and stuff, with it jumping around and falling off. Hence why they put these, they have the cable tie things up here. It's supposed to go on the side of the tank, but I put mine around the back. It sort of used to swing off when the pump was in feed mode. But yeah, no, it's fine now. Since I cleaned it all and everything, I think that was the problem. But yeah, that's all okay. Just try and look through. Stephen Book. Sorry about my pronunciation, my reading's not great. Do you run a GFO reactor? If not, why? And so why? Some of these questions I get confused with what people are writing here. Yeah, there's a Röhrfoss reactor. So I think they call it Fossbahn 150 with Röhrfoss in it. The reason we use them is for reducing the phosphate level. Right, let's just push pause quickly. Andy D, can you make a video about when the power goes out, how much your sump fills up? Well, when you do a water change, if you look through my videos on maintenance, it shows you the water change, you'll see how much it fills up. Basically, it only fills up, see, if you look at the top water line there going through the gate, the overflow, it only drops down probably, I don't know, 10 litres or so, and it fills the sump up to about level with the filter sock line there. That's all it does. Nemo 20G, question about Kessels. Do your lights make a slight fan noise with everything off? Can you hear it? Yes, you can hear like the fans inside the Kessels. It's something I was quite surprised with as well when I first put them on the system on day one and fired them up. You can hear them. They do. I don't know if they've got quieter or whether I've got used to them, but yes, you can hear them if you. I don't know if you can hear, but there is, with everything else off, yes, you can hear them. But they are very quiet. Rossmere Convict, oh, I can't even pronounce the name, sorry. It's about the sand. Reef flowers, pearl white, yes it is. 0.5 to 1 mil or 1 mil to 1.5 mil. I think it's the larger grain size on this system, 1 to 1.5 mil. I think the lower, the smaller grain size will be a little bit too small for you. You're running lots of high flow because it just tends to fly everywhere. The larger grain size stays in place nicely. Graham Bailey, about the Red Sea Foundation supplements. Do you use powder forms for your dosing pump or liquid form only? I think I've probably just answered that question by what I've just said in the beginning of the video. It's the powder form. Yeah, so that's about it on the questions for that, the last video. Yeah, I've got to be quick because I've got about 2.5 minutes left on the video. Sorry if it's a bit mishmashy this video, but I had to quickly get this update in. Everything's going alright with my system, and I shall update probably in the next week or so. Thanks everybody for watching and subscribing. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe, and you're into reef tanks, you'll probably get loads from this. I try and give as best advice as I can. I'm still learning as well with stuff, and I just tell you my experiences as I go through this journey with this tank, and hopefully it helps you out. So hit that subscribe, and I'll see you in the next update. Thanks folks.